Chosen one. Pause. Take a breath. Still your spirit. You are not here by accident. Heaven scheduled this moment for you. This message is a divine appointment, a prophetic interception, because something in the unseen has already begun shifting in your favor. Chosen. 1. You've felt the weight. You've survived the warfare. You've endured the financial pressure that made no sense. But what you called delay, heaven called preparation. You weren't being withheld from wealth, you were being shaped to carry it. The drought trained your discipline. The silence sharpened your discernment. The pressure purified your purpose. And now, anointed one, you are standing at the threshold of a supernatural breakthrough, the kind that doesn't make sense on paper. A sudden elevation, a divine wealth transfer, a shift so rapid it will feel like the earth moved beneath your feet. Because wealth is not a wish for you, it is your calling. Money is not a fantasy, it is your mantle. Breakthrough is not a coincidence, it is your destiny. As it is written in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, though the vision tarry, wait for it will surely come, it will not delay. Chosen one, your surely come moment is here. Chosen one, lean in, because heaven is stirring something in you that has been dormant, but never dead quiet, but never absent, hidden, but never lost. Before sudden wealth ever manifests in your hands, heaven awakens a deeper truth inside your spirit, the truth of who you are and who you were always meant to be. This awakening isn't loud. It doesn't come with fireworks or applause. It comes as a spiritual tug, a deep inner recognition that refuses to let you stay small. It rises in you like a memory your soul never forgot, a reminder that you were never ordinary, never random, never accidental. You were marked. You were set apart. You were chosen. You've felt this your whole life, even when you tried to ignore it. There were moments when the world told you to shrink, but something in you rebelled quietly, not out of pride, but out of accuracy. Something in you whispered, "This isn't all, there's more for me." And that whisper wasn't ambition, it was identity. It was heaven confirming that your assignment was bigger than your surroundings. Even in seasons of struggle, loss, or financial pressure, you sensed a pull toward greatness you couldn't logically explain. You carried ideas that didn't match your environment, dreams that felt too large for your circumstances, and a level of vision that made people misunderstand you. But chosen one, you weren't imagining anything. You were awakening. There's a reason you've never fit into the mold people tried to place you in. Your spirit outgrew rooms your resources couldn't yet enter. You were wired differently, not better than others, but built for a different battle, a different blessing, a different level of responsibility. Heaven has been shaping your identity long before this message reached your ears. Every disappointment carved discernment into you. Every delay sharpened wisdom. Every closed door strengthened your spiritual backbone. And while others thought you were being overlooked, heaven was doing the opposite. Heaven was preserving you. The weight didn't shrink you, it refined you. The struggle didn't break you, it authenticated you. I've seen this pattern not only in Scripture but in my own journey. Every time God prepared to elevate me, He first illuminated me. Before He opened new doors, He opened my eyes. Before He increased my resources, He expanded my identity. Elevation begins internally before it ever touches the external. And now I sense that same divine pattern unfolding in your life. The spiritual restlessness you've been feeling isn't confusion, it's confirmation. The dissatisfaction with your current level isn't ingratitude, it's alignment. The sense that something is coming, even if you can't name it yet, is not anxiety, it's prophecy, chosen. One identity is the blueprint heaven uses to build destiny. If you don't know who you are, you'll misinterpret what God gives you. Wealth without identity becomes a trap, but wealth with identity becomes a mantle. That's why heaven is awakening you first, because what's coming to you requires a version of you that knows exactly who you are and who you are not. And what you are not is average. What you are not is forgotten. What you are not is unworthy. You are not defined by your past losses, childhood wounds, or the seasons where resources were scarce. Those moments were not reflections of your identity, they were reflections of your preparation. There's something sacred about the way God forms a chosen one. He doesn't reveal everything at once. Instead, He layers you. He strengthens parts of you you didn't know were weak. He humbles parts of you you didn't know were proud. He heals parts of you you didn't know were wounded. And all of it is intentional, all of it is architectural. Heaven has been building you with purpose, precision, and prophecy, because the calling on your life requires an identity that cannot be shaken by public elevation or private warfare. You've survived things that should have shattered you. You've walked through spiritual deserts that tried to choke your hope. You've been isolated, underestimated, and at times misunderstood by people who were never meant to discern your depth. But instead of collapsing, you expanded. Instead of breaking, you toughened. Instead of losing your identity, you discovered it. And that discovery is the foundation for everything heaven is about to release in your life. Chosen one, your identity is not tied to your bank account, your history, or your mistakes. Your identity is tied to your calling, your mantle, and your divine assignment. You were born with spiritual authority embedded into your DNA. You carry resilience that didn't come from books, it came from battles. You carry wisdom that didn't come from classrooms, it came from long nights of wrestling with God, with yourself, and with the expectations of others. You carry a strength that doesn't make sense considering what you've been through, but that is the evidence of heaven's hand on your life. And now something within you is rising, a sense of purpose, a sense of anticipation, a sense of inner alignment that feels like your soul finally catching up to your destiny. This isn't arrogance, this isn't fantasy, this is identity. You are stepping into the truth of who you've always been, even when circumstances said otherwise. You are stepping into the version of yourself heaven has been shaping, stretching, and sanctifying. You are stepping into the spiritual weight of your name, the one heaven calls you by. Chosen one, the awakening you feel right now is sacred. It's heaven confirming that you're ready to carry what your spirit has known all along. Chosen one, as you step deeper into this awakening, it becomes impossible to ignore the long season of waiting you've walked through, the delays, the pauses, the painfully slow progress, the silent years where nothing seemed to move. These were not dead seasons. They were divine classrooms. Heaven was teaching you in a language only the refined understand. And although you may not have recognized it at the time, every moment of waiting was filled with purpose. There were days when you questioned yourself, days when you wondered if you misheard God, days when it felt like your prayers were floating into the ceiling and coming back unanswered. You saw others get opportunities, promotions, blessings, and breakthroughs while you stood still. And though you celebrated them, something inside you whispered, "When is it my turn?" That whisper wasn't impatience. It was prophecy waiting for alignment. It was heaven keeping your hope alive, even when your circumstances didn't cooperate, because hope that survives a drought becomes unshakable once the rain comes. Chosen one, the waiting season is the birthplace of spiritual maturity. It is in the stillness that God tests your posture. It is in the delay that He reveals your discipline. It is in the emptiness that He sharpens your discernment. You learned things in the silence you could not have learned in the spotlight. And heaven knew that if you received what you were praying for too soon, it would become a burden rather than a blessing. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were unprepared, and preparation is God's mercy in disguise. There were moments when you felt forgotten, but you were being fortified. You felt hidden, but you were being held. You felt delayed, but you were being developed. Heaven wasn't ignoring you, heaven was insulating you. The waiting season wasn't punishment, it was protection. God was not withholding blessings from you. He was withholding burdens you were not yet equipped to carry, and instead of breaking under the weight of premature elevation, He allowed you to grow into your future instead of stumbling into it. Many chosen ones confuse silence with absence. But silence is often the sign of a skilled builder at work. When God is constructing something deep within you, character integrity, capacity, emotional resilience, He does it quietly. He wasn't inactive during your waiting season, He was intentional, and every closed door was a strategy, every delayed answer was direction, every detour was divine choreography. You didn't lose time, you were being aligned with time. Think about the nights you cried, but didn't quit. The mornings you woke up tired, but still kept going. The moments you wanted to settle, but something inside you refused. That refusal was the Spirit of God anchoring you to your assignment. That inner fight was evidence of your calling. People who are not chosen give up easily, but you endured, you pressed on, you kept believing even when belief felt expensive. And that endurance became spiritual currency, the kind heaven honors when it's time to release, increase. I've lived through waiting seasons that stretched me beyond comfort. Seasons where everything in me wanted to move, wanted to force outcomes, wanted to create my own version of breakthrough. But every time I tried, heaven gently pulled me back into surrender. Because the waiting season teaches what the winning season can't: humility, patience, trust, and the ability to hear God without needing constant signs. Waiting deepens your roots before elevation stretches your branches. Chosen one. The reason your wait was long is because your destiny is large. God wasn't preparing you for small assignments, temporary blessings, or shallow forms of success. You were being prepared for influence that carries weight, wealth that carries responsibility, and purpose that carries generations. That kind of destiny cannot be rushed. You cannot microwave spiritual maturity. Gold must be refined. Diamond must be pressured. Oil must be crushed. And you chosen. One was shaped through process, not punishment. There were relationships that fell away because they couldn't go where you were going. There were opportunities that slipped through your fingers because they weren't aligned with your assignment. There were seasons where you felt like you were standing still, but heaven was moving everything around you to position you correctly. Your waiting season wasn't stagnant, it was strategic. God was clearing your path before He amplified your steps. You didn't realize it then, but the waiting season exposed who was for you and who was simply around you. It revealed the sincerity of your heart. It confronted the motives you didn't know were there. It pulled you away from noise long enough for you to hear truth. And most importantly, it prepared you to handle what's coming without losing yourself in the process. If your breakthrough had arrived earlier, you would have shared it with people who would have drained you. You would have invested in places that were leaking. You would have trusted voices that were only loyal to your struggle, not your future. Heaven delayed your increase so your discernment could mature, so you could recognize counterfeit connections and protect what is holy. The waiting season also purified your desires. What you want now is different from what you wanted before. Maturity has replaced impulse. Purpose has replaced ego. Clarity has replaced chaos. Your prayers are deeper now, your vision sharper, your expectations rooted not in fantasy, but in faith. Waiting refined your spiritual palate. What once looked like success now looks empty, and what once looked small now looks sacred. You have eyes to see differently because waiting taught you how to see. Chosen one, all the frustration, all the slow seasons, all the silent battles were not wasted. Heaven was shaping you for sustainability, not speed. And though you may have questioned why it took so long, one day you will look back and realize the waiting season didn't delay your life. It delivered you into alignment with your destiny. Chosen one. As the waiting season softened, stretched and sanctified, something deeper began to happen inside you, a quiet inner confirmation, a spiritual recognition that could not be explained logically but could be felt unmistakably. You started sensing shifts within long before anything shifted around you. Your spirit began whispering truths your circumstances couldn't yet validate. And even in moments when doubt tried to creep in, the confirmation inside you grew stronger, steadier, and more undeniable. There were days when you woke up with a strange confidence that didn't match your situation. Nothing had changed externally, yet something inside you felt different. You felt aligned without knowing why. You felt ready without knowing for what. You felt called without knowing where it would lead. And that inner certainty, fragile at first, but fierce now, was heaven signaling that you were crossing over from survival to assignment, from waiting to readiness, from hoping to becoming. Internal confirmation isn't loud, it is consistent. It doesn't demand attention, it quietly anchors you. It moves beneath the surface like a river under soil, carving new paths in your spirit long before they appear in your life. And chosen. 1. You began noticing signs of this internal confirmation everywhere. The same conversations that once discouraged you no longer had the same power. The same fears that once controlled you began to lose their grip. The same wounds that once defined you started healing without you fully realizing when it happened. These were not coincidences. These were indicators of spiritual alignment, evidence that heaven had been preparing your inner world for the outer expansion that is coming. There were moments subtle but sacred when you felt a surge of peace in situations that should have overwhelmed you. There were decisions you made with clarity you didn't have before. There were steps you took that felt guided rather than guessed. There were inner nudges that led you away from things that no longer matched your destiny. You became more selective, more intuitive, more spiritually aware, and the more you honored these nudges, the louder they became. That growing sensitivity is one of the strongest confirmations that heaven is positioning you for elevation. I know what it feels like to experience this shift myself. I've had seasons where everything around me was chaos, yet inside I felt a calm certainty that didn't come from logic. It came from grace, from divine timing, from a God who speaks in whispers long before he acts in wonders. And what I learned, what you are now learning, is that internal confirmation always comes before external manifestation. Heaven aligns your spirit before it aligns your circumstances. You may have noticed that your desires have changed too. What once excited you no longer satisfies you. What once distracted you no longer holds your attention. Your appetite has shifted from comfort to calling, from validation to purpose, from temporary gain to eternal impact. This is a confirmation that your identity is rising to meet your destiny. You are evolving spiritually in ways that can't be forced, only formed. Chosen one. You're also beginning to trust yourself in a way you never have before, not because you became perfect, but because you became anchored. Your discernment is sharper, your boundaries are clearer, your intuition is stronger, and you're finally recognizing that these qualities didn't appear out of nowhere. They were cultivated in the waiting season and activated through divine alignment. You are learning the sound of God's voice in your life, and that familiarity is confirmation in itself. Another sign is the way your spirit reacts to things that no longer belong to your future. People, environments, habits, and patterns that once felt normal now feel draining. Conversations that once entertained you now feel empty. Opportunities that once tempted you now feel too small. Your spirit is rejecting what is beneath your calling because it is preparing to embrace what matches your new mantle. This is not moodiness, this is spiritual maturity. This is heaven detoxing your life for what is coming. You've also felt a rise in courage, not loud, reckless courage, but quiet, grounded courage. The courage to let go. The courage to dream again. The courage to believe that you are not disqualified from what God has promised. The courage to expand, even when resources look limited. This courage is not self-made, it is spirit-breathed. It is evidence that heaven has been preparing you to step into a place where fear cannot sabotage your favor. And let's speak honestly for a moment. Part of you has been wrestling with the question, why do I feel something big coming? You can't pinpoint it, you can't predict it, but you can feel it. And that feeling is not imagination. It is alignment. It is your spirit receiving updates heaven hasn't announced publicly yet. Long before elevation happens in the natural realm, it is broadcast in the spiritual realm, and your spirit has been picking up the signal. Some nights you felt a strange anticipation that kept you awake. Some mornings you woke up with a hope that didn't match yesterday's disappointment. Some prayers ended with peace, even when the situation didn't change. All of these were internal confirmations that heaven has already begun shifting your story. Chosen one, you are not hoping for breakthrough anymore, you are aligned with it. You are not begging for clarity anymore, you are walking in it. You are not waiting for confirmation anymore, you are becoming it. The truth is settling inside you like a foundation. Something is coming, and this time you are ready for it. The same God who allowed the silence is now stirring your spirit. The same God who monitored your steps is now magnifying your path. The same God who refined you privately is preparing to elevate you publicly. You don't need external signs anymore. The internal ones have already spoken, and they are telling you the truth. Heaven is getting ready to move. Chosen one. As the inner confirmation began strengthening inside you, something else started revealing itself with undeniable clarity. Divine timing, not human timing, not emotional timing, not convenient timing. Divine timing, the rhythm of heaven that cannot be rushed, delayed, manipulated, or misunderstood once your spirit begins to recognize its frequency. You started noticing that certain things in your life didn't happen earlier, not because you lacked faith and not because you made mistakes, but because heaven had a schedule your heart wasn't yet aware of. There were moments when you tried to push doors open only to find them sealed shut. Times when you attempted to accelerate your own process only to feel the entire universe slowing you down. Seasons where opportunities appeared, but something internal whispered, "Not yet." You didn't understand it then, but now you're beginning to see a pattern. Every no protected you from premature yeses. Every delay aligned you with something better. Every pause kept you from entering spaces you weren't assigned to occupy. Divine timing is not passive, it is surgical. As your spirit matured, you began noticing how certain breakthroughs only make sense in hindsight. Had they come earlier, they would have overwhelmed you. Had they come during your wounded seasons, you would have mishandled them. Had they come when you were surrounded by the wrong people, they would have been stolen or sabotaged. Heaven wasn't ignoring you. Heaven was orchestrating a sequence. Heaven was protecting the promise by preparing the promise carrier. And chosen one, the deeper truth is this: timing is part of your calling. Being chosen doesn't just mean receiving divine assignments, it means receiving them at the divinely appointed moment. There is a reason Scripture says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, "To everything there is a season." If you receive what is meant for your future while your mind is still operating from your past, the blessing becomes a burden. That is why God has been carefully synchronizing your seasons. Look at how much has changed within you over these years. Your mindset evolved. Your emotional capacity expanded. Your perception sharpened. Your prayers matured. You now ask for clarity, not comfort. You ask for alignment, not applause. You ask for purpose, not popularity. That shift didn't happen overnight. It happened over months and years of spiritual recalibration. And now the timing of heaven is beginning to make sense. You are being aligned, refined, and reassigned without even realizing it. Divine timing also explains why certain relationships dissolved, why some people walked out, why some connections became uncomfortable. You didn't lose them, you outgrew them. Heaven will never allow people who cannot steward your future to remain attached to your present. Timing is God's way of clearing your environment before He expands your territory, because expansion requires space, emotional, spiritual, mental, relational space. You may not have seen it clearly then, but now it becomes obvious. Heaven was rearranging your life like a master strategist. The opportunities that fell apart weren't failures, they were redirections. The jobs you didn't get weren't setbacks, they were shields. The relationships that ended weren't rejections, they were releases. Everything you thought was falling apart was actually falling in place. And yet divine timing doesn't just operate through delays, it also operates through sudden shifts. Look back on your journey. There were moments when things changed quickly, almost out of nowhere. A door opened unexpectedly. A person appeared at the right moment. A solution surfaced just before you lost hope. A breakthrough unfolded faster than you imagined possible. These sudden movements were not coincidences. They were confirmations that heaven can move swiftly when your spirit is aligned, chosen. One divine timing is not slow, it is precise. And precision often feels like delay until revelation arrives. God is not late. God is strategic. When He releases something, it is because every detail around it is aligned. Your character, your capacity, your circle, your mindset, your emotions, your discernment. Heaven doesn't release blessings into confusion. Heaven releases blessings into readiness. You may not realize this, but you've crossed a spiritual threshold. Your prayers now align with your purpose. Your desires now align with your destiny. Your preparation now aligns with your promise. And when alignment meets readiness, divine timing activates. You've reached a point in your journey where heaven no longer needs to hold certain things back, because the version of you today can carry what the old you could not. There were seasons when you were eager but not equipped, seasons when you were willing but not stable, seasons when you were available but not anchored, and heaven in its mercy waited for the healed, strengthened, awakened version of you to emerge. That version is here now. You feel it, you sense it, you embody it. This is why certain thoughts of inadequacy no longer hold the same weight. This is why fear doesn't silence you the way it used to. This is why you've been feeling a mix of peace and anticipation, because divine timing is beginning to unfold around you. And perhaps the greatest sign of divine timing is this: you're no longer chasing what you once begged for. You are attracting what you have become aligned with. Elevation is no longer a desperate desire, it is a natural next step. Wealth is no longer a fantasy, it is a mantle awakening. Opportunities are no longer escapes, they are assignments. The timing of heaven doesn't just change your life, it changes your identity. It shifts you from waiting to walking, from praying to possessing, from hoping to stewarding. Chosen one, you are stepping into a season where God is no longer saying, "Not yet." Heaven is beginning to say, "Prepare." Because the timing is no longer distant, it is drawing near. And not by your effort, but by divine appointment. Chosen one. As divine timing begins revealing its rhythm in your life, another layer of truth starts rising to the surface. The undeniable realization that your life has always been guided by purpose and calling. Not the kind of calling people talk about lightly, not the kind that fades when circumstances shift, but the kind that heaven assigns before you ever take your first breath. The kind that threads itself through every victory and every wound, every detour and every breakthrough, every moment where you felt lost and every moment where you felt found. If you look back over your journey with honest eyes, you will begin to see something you may have missed before. Purpose has been pursuing you, even when you were uncertain, even when you were overwhelmed, even when you made choices that didn't align with your destiny. Purpose has a way of pulling you back onto the path heaven wrote for you. The moments in your life where everything fell apart were not signs that you were off track. They were signs that heaven was rerouting you toward alignment. There were seasons where you felt like you were drifting, but drifting is impossible for someone chosen. You may wander, but you are never lost. Every experience, even the ones you wish you could erase, became part of your preparation. You learned strength from what should have destroyed you. You learned compassion from what broke you. You learned discernment from what deceived you. Every scar, every lesson, every betrayal, every closed door added layers to your calling. They didn't disqualify you, they shaped you. Chosen one. Your calling is not something you stumbled into, it is something your spirit has always recognized. That's why certain environments felt too small. That's why mediocrity suffocated you. That's why you couldn't force yourself to stay in places that didn't match your destiny. Many people can ignore the pull of purpose, you cannot. When heaven marks you, nothing else feels like home. You've always carried an inner sense that you were meant to impact others even if you didn't know how. You've always felt the responsibility of being the one in your family or community who sees differently, hears differently, and feels differently. This wasn't a burden, it was a beacon. You were being called to break patterns, not repeat them. You were being called to elevate generations, not just yourself. You were being called to carry light into places where darkness had settled too comfortably. And though this calling felt heavy at times, it never crushed you, it clarified you. As your identity awakened and divine timing aligned, your purpose started making itself known in new ways. Your dreams grew louder, your passions became clearer, your spirit became more insistent. You began noticing that the things that stir your heart are connected to the problems heaven designed you to solve. Your calling is not random, it is targeted. It is calibrated to your gifts, your pain, your perspective, and your anointing. And here is the truth. Many chosen ones struggle to accept your calling is bigger than your comfort. but it is never bigger than your capacity. Heaven equips who heaven calls. Every skill you've gained, every challenge you've overcome, every moment where you were forced to grow, all of it was intentional. You were being prepared to carry influence with integrity, power, with purity, wealth, with wisdom. The chosen one, you are called not just to succeed, but to transform, not just to rise, but to lift, not just to receive, but to steward. That's why the dreams inside you scare you, because they were never meant to be lived in human strength alone. Your calling requires divine partnership. It requires the kind of faith that doesn't ask for guarantees, only direction. And yet, even in your uncertainty, you feel this truth pulsing within you: I was born for more. That feeling isn't delusion. It is destiny speaking. It is heaven reminding you that your life was not designed for insignificance. You were meant to move systems, shift atmospheres, break generational ceilings, and open doors for others. You are a carrier of purpose, not just potential. Your calling is not only about what you will do, it's about who you become in the process. God has been shaping your heart so your hands can handle what's coming. He has been softening your spirit so you can carry influence without arrogance. He has been refining your character so your elevation doesn't compromise your integrity. And He has been protecting your sensitivity so you can discern opportunities wrapped in assignment and traps wrapped in opportunity. Look closely, chosen one, and you will see how your calling has been woven into every part of your story. You've been drawn to certain people for reasons you couldn't explain. You've survived things others never recovered from. You've carried wisdom beyond your years. You've seen visions and possibilities others dismissed as unrealistic. And even when life knocked you down, purpose pulled you back up, refusing to let you settle where you were never meant to stay. And now you are entering a season where purpose and timing intersect. A moment where your calling begins to activate with clarity and strength. You are no longer questioning if you are chosen. You are beginning to walk like someone who knows it, someone who understands that they carry something sacred, someone who realizes that everything they have endured is now working in their favor. Chosen. One purpose is not ahead of you. It is rising within you, and as it rises, heaven aligns circumstances, connections, and opportunities around you. Because when a chosen one awakens fully into their calling, destiny doesn't just unfold, it accelerates. Chosen. 1. As purpose begins to illuminate your path with undeniable clarity, something even more profound begins stirring in the unseen: the activation of your financial mantle. This isn't ordinary wealth. This isn't random increase. This is a spiritual endowment, a divine empowerment granted to those whom heaven can trust with influence, impact, and generational responsibility. The wealth that is being prepared for your life is not meant to simply elevate your lifestyle. It is meant to elevate your legacy, your assignment, and your authority in the earth. And you may not realize it yet, but the mantle has already begun to rest on you. A financial mantle is not something you chase. It is something that descends when identity, purpose, and timing intertwine. It arrives when heaven sees that what once would have distracted you can now be stewarded by you. It rests on those who have been refined in private, tested in silence, and matured in waiting. You were not called to simply have money. You were called to carry money with wisdom, purity, and divine strategy. Many can receive wealth. Few can hold it without it holding them. But you, chosen one, were trained differently. Look back on your life, and you will notice the early signs of this mantle. Even in seasons of lack, you thought like a builder. Even when resources were scarce, your mind drifted toward possibility. You saw solutions others overlooked. You dreamed on levels your finances couldn't yet support. You had ideas, insights, and visions that carried the fingerprints of prosperity long before prosperity reached your hands. This wasn't arrogance, it was evidence. Your spirit knew wealth was part of your assignment before your bank account did. There's a reason you were uncomfortable around small thinking. A reason you outgrew conversations centered on limitation, fear, and lack. A reason you felt a holy dissatisfaction with anything that didn't align with expansion. Your spirit wasn't being restless, it was being trained. Heaven was stretching your capacity to receive. Because before God multiplies what you have, He multiplies who you are. Chosen one. The financial warfare you faced wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The closed doors taught you stewardship. The disappointments taught you discipline. The unexpected losses trained your resilience. The cycles of almost breakthrough sharpened your discernment. You weren't being attacked because you lacked value, you were being attacked because your mantle carried value. The enemy always targets what heaven intends to use. And yet through all of it you developed something rare, spiritual, financial intelligence. You learned that money without purpose is noise, but money with purpose is influence. You learned that wealth without wisdom collapses, but wealth carried by a healed vessel multiplies. You learned that abundance doesn't start with opportunity, it starts with identity. And now heaven is preparing to entrust you with more, because you've proven, even in scarcity, that you won't worship what you were called to steward. There is something different about the level of wealth assigned to a chosen one. It comes with weight. It comes with vision. It comes with responsibility. It comes with heaven's signature. And that is why your process has been so intense. God was not preparing you for average income or ordinary blessings. He was preparing you for kingdom-level resources, the kind of resources that shift atmospheres, uplift families, transform communities, and break generational cycles of lack. The mantle of wealth isn't given to impress people, it's given to impact destiny. You are being entrusted with ideas that carry financial breakthrough. You are being aligned with people whose presence accelerates your purpose. You're being drawn toward environments where prosperity is normal, not surprising. You're beginning to sense money differently, not as something scarce, but as something attracted to vision, integrity, and spiritual alignment. And here's the truth, heaven needs you to embrace wealth is not coming to you because you wanted it. Wealth is coming because you can be trusted with it. The mantle chose you because your heart remained pure, even when you were surrounded by pressure, because you didn't allow bitterness to corrupt your identity, because you refused to compromise your character for quick gain, because you developed a spiritual foundation strong enough to hold financial elevation without losing yourself in the process. Chosen one. The financial mantle is already speaking to you through new desires, desires to build, to expand, to create, to give, to solve problems others ignore. You are thinking long-term, not short-term. You are planning in decades, not days. You are imagining systems, structures, and streams that will outlive you. This is not coincidence. This is calling. Your mind is shifting because your mantle is activating. You are beginning to think like someone who carries wealth, not someone who is simply waiting for it. And because of that shift, heaven is preparing divine connections, not just people with resources, but people with keys. People who unlock rooms you cannot enter alone. People who recognize the anointing on your life and feel compelled to support it. People who see not where you are, but where heaven is taking you. These individuals are not coming by accident. They are coming by assignment. Because mantles attract alignment. You may also notice an increased sensitivity to environments, conversations, and habits that drain you. This is another sign the mantle is settling. Heaven is pruning distractions so you can handle what's coming with clarity and focus. You cannot carry this level of wealth surrounded by noise. You cannot steward this assignment weighed down by small-minded people. That is why God has been quietly separating you, not to isolate you, but to elevate you. And now your financial mantle is asking you to rise into a deeper awareness. You were born for this. You were shaped for this. You were refined for this. Wealth is not simply a blessing you will receive. It is a mantle you will carry. Chosen one. As your financial mantle activates and begins reshaping the way you see, think, and discern, something remarkable starts happening around you. Signs, subtle at first, then unmistakable. Indicators that heaven is drawing you closer to a breakthrough that has been divinely timed, spiritually prepared, and prophetically marked with your name. These signs are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are heaven's way of whispering, "Get ready, the shift is near." One of the earliest signs is the inner detachment you begin to feel from your old season. What once frustrated you no longer affects you with the same intensity. What once drained you no longer holds power over your spirit. Patterns you struggled with begin dissolving almost effortlessly. People who once had access to your emotions no longer carry the same influence. It's not that you stopped caring, it's that your spirit is preparing to outgrow everything connected to your former level. That detachment isn't disconnection, it's elevation. It's heaven clearing emotional clutter so you can step into your next dimension with clarity. Another sign is the sudden collapse of things that are no longer aligned with your purpose. Plans that used to work begin failing. Opportunities that once felt secure start shifting. Structures you relied on lose stability. It may feel inconvenient, but it is intentional. Heaven will never allow you to build a permanent life around a temporary assignment. When something begins to fall apart unexpectedly, it is often a sign that God is removing everything that would restrict your expansion. You aren't losing, you're being lifted. Then comes the acceleration in your thoughts. Ideas arrive faster, solutions become clearer, vision becomes sharper. Your mind awakens in ways that feel supernatural, as if the future is whispering strategies you didn't have access to before. You begin thinking like the version of yourself you haven't fully met yet. That version is already walking in your breakthrough, and your spirit is catching up to that reality. This sudden mental clarity is not imagination, it is invitation. Heaven is giving you foresight because breakthrough requires preparedness. Chosen. One another unmistakable sign is the rise of divine discomfort. Not the discomfort of confusion, but the discomfort of expansion. You feel restless, not because something is wrong, but because something is coming. You sense movement in your spirit, even when nothing is moving externally. It's like being in a room you've outgrown. You can function in it, but you can't flourish in it anymore. Your soul begins nudging you towards something bigger, higher, deeper. This discomfort is heaven's way of saying you are too large for this place. It's time to shift. You may also notice an unusual increase in spiritual sensitivity. You pick up on people's intentions faster. You discern atmospheres more accurately. You sense divine warnings or confirmations sooner than before. It's as if heaven is tuning your spiritual frequency so you can navigate what's coming with precision. Every elevation requires heightened discernment, and God sharpens it right before He shifts you. When your spirit becomes more alert, breakthrough is near. Another powerful sign is the appearance of unexpected helpers, individuals who step into your life, offering encouragement, wisdom, opportunities, or support without asking for anything in return. These people don't arrive through your efforts. They arrive through alignment. They are destiny connections sent to uplift, confirm, or accelerate you. You may not understand why they are drawn to you, but heaven does. Breakthrough always brings helpers before it brings harvest. And then there are the repeated messages, the patterns that echo through conversations, scriptures, songs, videos, or inner impressions. You keep hearing the same themes: prepare, shift, increase, breakthrough, elevation. These are not random. When heaven wants to emphasize something, it surrounds you with reminders until your spirit can no longer ignore it. This repetition is divine reinforcement. A major sign many overlook is the intensification of spiritual warfare. Right before breakthrough, the enemy attempts to distract you, overwhelm you, or provoke old wounds. Not because you are weak, but because you are close. The closer you get to destiny, the louder the resistance becomes. You may experience sudden fatigue, unexpected conflicts, financial tension, or emotional heaviness. But these battles are not indicators of failure. They are indicators of proximity. Pressure increases when the promise is near. Chosen. Another profound sign is the shift in your language. You stop speaking from fear and begin speaking from faith. You stop complaining and begin declaring. You stop doubting and begin expecting. Even when your circumstances haven't changed, your words reflect an inner certainty that breakthrough is already unfolding. This shift isn't mental, it's spiritual. Your mouth begins to align with what heaven is preparing to manifest. And perhaps the most significant sign of all is this: you begin to see glimpses of your future in your present. Small wins, unusual favor, open doors, encouraging breakthroughs. Things that used to be difficult become easier. Resources begin finding you. Opportunities approach you instead of you chasing them. These are previews, prophetic indicators that the full manifestation is near. All these signs point to one truth: heaven is getting ready to move in your life in a way that will shift everything. Not slowly, not subtly, but undeniably. Breakthrough doesn't whisper, it announces. And the signs you've been sensing are the prelude to a divine performance orchestrated by God Himself. Chosen one. When the signs of breakthrough begin revealing themselves around you, heaven moves you into one of the most powerful phases of your journey: supernatural alignment. This is the season where things that never made sense suddenly begin to fit, where the scattered pieces of your life start forming a picture, where what once felt random now feels orchestrated, and where the invisible hand of God becomes unmistakably evident in the timing, direction, and unfolding of your steps. Supernatural alignment is not subtle, it is sovereign. It is the phase where heaven arranges what human effort could never manipulate or manufacture. You begin to notice that the right opportunities appear without force. The right people show up without searching. The right ideas surface without strain. It's as though your spirit, your purpose, your environment, and your timing are all being synchronized into perfect harmony. What used to require heavy effort now begins to unfold with unusual ease. This ease is not laziness, it is divine orchestration. You've entered the space where favor starts doing the heavy lifting. Alignment feels different from striving. Striving drains you. Alignment directs you. Striving makes you chase. Alignment makes you attract. In alignment, you don't have to force outcomes. Outcomes begin to find you. You don't have to convince anyone of your value. The right ones recognize it immediately. You don't have to exhaust yourself trying to open doors. The doors that are assigned to you begin to open on their own. When heaven aligns your path, nothing can delay what has been appointed. Chosen one. Supernatural alignment also brings divine clarity, a kind of spiritual knowing that goes beyond logic. You start understanding why certain seasons lasted longer than expected, why certain people had to leave your life, why certain dreams took time to unfold. What once felt like punishment is now revealed as protection. What once felt like loss is now revealed as liberation. What once felt like confusion is now revealed as strategy. Heaven wastes nothing, and alignment reveals how everything has been used to shape your calling. In this season, your instincts become unusually sharp. You hear God's whispers more distinctly. You sense danger before it appears. You recognize divine connections instantly. You pick up spiritual signals that you would have ignored in the past. This heightened awareness is not anxiety, it is discernment. Heaven is tuning your inner frequency so you can respond to movement in the spiritual realm before it becomes visible in the natural realm. Alignment doesn't just position you, it prepares you. Another sign of supernatural alignment is the collapse of counterfeit paths. Anything that is not aligned with your purpose begins falling away quickly and decisively. Sometimes painfully, sometimes suddenly, but always intentionally. The relationship you couldn't walk away from becomes unbearable. The job that limited your potential becomes unstable. The environment that drained your spirit becomes impossible to stay in. Heaven is not punishing you. Heaven is pruning you. You cannot walk into your next season carrying the weight of your former one. Chosen one alignment also manifests through acceleration. Not rushed acceleration, but divine momentum. Things that were stagnant for years begin to progress rapidly. Projects that once moved slowly suddenly gain traction. Delayed answers start coming all at once. You experience breakthroughs in clusters: financial, emotional, spiritual, relational. It feels almost surreal, as though heaven is making up for lost time. That's because in many ways it is. Divine acceleration is God's way of redeeming the years that felt wasted. Supernatural alignment also brings a deep internal peace, not the absence of problems, but the presence of purpose. Even when challenges arise, they don't destabilize you the way they used to. You feel grounded in a way that has nothing to do with circumstances. You can sense that you are exactly where you're meant to be, moving at the pace you're meant to move toward the future you were destined to live. This peace is not shallow. It is spiritual evidence that heaven is guiding your steps. You'll also notice a shift in the people drawn to you. Not everyone can recognize anointing, but alignment attracts those who can. Leaders begin noticing you. Mentors begin supporting you. Destiny partners begin valuing you. Some are sent to teach you. Others are sent to walk with you. A few are sent to elevate you. These connections are not random. They are divine appointments. Heaven is arranging relationships that will be crucial for the manifestation of your calling. Another mark of alignment is the emergence of open doors, opportunities that reflect your future rather than your past. These doors won't require you to betray your values, shrink your identity, or beg for acceptance. They will feel right. They will feel familiar in a spiritual sense, as if your spirit recognizes what your mind is still processing. Breakthrough doors always carry the scent of destiny. And when alignment is active, these doors will appear boldly and undeniably. During supernatural alignment, God also begins to amplify your gifts. Skills you forgot you had begin resurfacing. Talents you neglected begin sharpening. Creative ideas flow easily. Solutions come naturally. You step into a level of excellence that surprises even you. This is the anointing activating your gifts, rising to match the magnitude of your assignment. Heaven is preparing your hands for the work attached to your wealth. Chosen one, you may also experience moments where everything feels too still. This stillness is not stagnation, it is calibration. Heaven pauses you only to position you. The silence you feel is not emptiness, it is alignment settling into place. When supernatural alignment is active, even the quiet seasons carry movement. By the time alignment completes its work, you will look back and realize that nothing in your story was wasted. Every delay, heartbreak, challenge, betrayal, lesson, breakthrough, and miracle was part of a divine arrangement leading you here, a moment where heaven and earth converge to elevate you into the fullness of your calling. Chosen one. When supernatural alignment begins moving through your life like a quiet but unstoppable river, something extraordinary starts unfolding, divine opportunities. These are not ordinary chances or random openings. These are heaven-engineered moments, strategically placed intersections where purpose meets timing, where preparation meets favor, and where your obedience meets God's orchestration. Divine opportunities carry a different weight. They do not appear because of luck, effort, or human connections. They appear because heaven has declared now. You will begin to notice that opportunities start showing up in ways you did not expect and through people you did not predict. A conversation that seems casual suddenly becomes life-changing. A meeting you weren't planning reveals a door you didn't know existed. An idea you nearly dismissed becomes the foundation for a future breakthrough. Divine opportunities rarely enter with fanfare. They often appear wrapped in simplicity but carry explosive potential. You are being trained to recognize them by spirit, not sight. One of the earliest signs that divine opportunities are approaching is the shift in your inner posture. You become more alert, more discerning, more spiritually aware. You find yourself paying attention to things you would have once ignored. You sense significance in small moments. You feel nudged to reach out to certain people or revisit earlier visions. It is as though heaven is whispering instructions that your spirit understands before your mind does. Opportunity is drawn to preparation, and your preparation has been long, deep, and sacred. Chosen one. Divine opportunities often come disguised as disruptions. Something that forces you out of your comfort zone, a change you didn't plan for, a transition you didn't anticipate. What seems like inconvenience becomes redirection. What feels like loss becomes liberation. You must understand this. Heaven will never allow you to remain in places that cannot hold your next level. If God is shaking something, it is because destiny is calling you forward. Divine opportunities often require movement, physical, emotional, spiritual, and heaven orchestrates the conditions necessary for that movement. Another sign is the sudden ease that accompanies certain decisions. You find yourself stepping into new things with an unusual peace. The fear that used to paralyze you no longer has the same grip. The confusion that once clouded your judgment begins to dissolve. Opportunities that once overwhelmed you now feel attainable. This isn't arrogance, it is alignment. When heaven authorizes something, it removes the resistance that isn't meant to stay. Divine opportunities carry grace, and grace makes even the unfamiliar feel possible. You will also experience what some call prophetic coincidences, but what are actually divine confirmations. You will think of someone, and they will contact you. You will consider a specific direction, and an unexpected sign will affirm it. You will doubt a decision and then overhear a conversation that answers the very question you wrestled with. These alignments are not random. They are indicators that heaven is guiding your steps into doors ordained for your elevation. Chosen one, divine opportunities are also revealed through people. People who see what others overlooked. People who speak life into dormant parts of your calling. People who believe in your capacity before you fully believe in it yourself. Some of these individuals are destiny connectors, assigned to open doors you could not open alone. Others are mentors assigned to prepare you for environments you have not yet entered. And a few are protectors assigned to shield you from traps disguised as opportunities. Heaven never sends opportunities without also sending guidance. Another undeniable sign is the rise of passion within you. Dreams you ignored begin resurfacing with intensity. Ideas you shelved now feel urgent. Projects you abandoned now call you back. Your spirit begins pulling you towards something not out of desperation, but out of destiny. That pull is not emotional, it is prophetic. Heaven is reminding you of assignments you were born to fulfill. When a divine opportunity approaches your spirit, recognizes it long before your circumstances confirm it. Divine opportunities often require courage. They stretch you. They demand that you trust God beyond your comfort zone. They call you to step into rooms where your future is waiting, even if your past tries to whisper inadequacy. But chosen ones are not elevated by comfort. They are elevated by obedience. You are not being asked to leap blindly. You are being asked to respond to the alignment heaven has already secured. Where God guides, grace provides. Where God opens, no one can close. And here is something important to understand. Divine opportunities often appear right after intense warfare. When the enemy senses you're nearing a breakthrough, he attempts to distract, discourage, or derail you. But this warfare is not a sign to retreat. It is a sign to watch closely. Your greatest opportunities often stand on the other side of your greatest resistance. The pressure you've been feeling is proof that you are approaching a door that matters. You will also notice that in this season, your confidence starts rising. Not the loud, forced confidence that comes from ego, but the quiet, grounded confidence that comes from divine assignment. You begin to say yes more boldly. You begin to dream bigger without apologizing. You begin to walk with a sense of authority that surprises even you. This confidence is not personality, it is prophetic positioning. Heaven is preparing you to stand in rooms where opportunities will require you to carry yourself like someone who belongs there. Finally, divine opportunities come with timing so precise that you cannot doubt their origin. A door opens at the exact moment you are spiritually ready. A resource appears at the moment you need it. A connection shows up in the season where your heart is healed enough to receive it. When divine timing meets divine opportunity, manifestation becomes unstoppable. Chosen one. Everything around you has been shifting, not to overwhelm you, but to prepare you. The alignment, the pruning, the clarity, the discernment, the discomfort, the acceleration, all of it has been leading to this sacred truth. Heaven is positioning you for opportunities that carry destiny, not just advancement. Chosen one. As divine opportunities draw near, there comes a moment when heaven begins unveiling one of the greatest mysteries surrounding your calling, the revelation of divine wealth transfer. This isn't the kind of wealth rooted in greed, ego, or worldly ambition. It is a sacred transaction orchestrated by God, in which resources are shifted, redirected, and repositioned into the hands of those who have been refined, prepared, and entrusted to steward them with purity and purpose. Wealth transfer is not merely financial increase, it is spiritual assignment expressed through abundance. You have felt this truth stirring within you long before you had language for it. Even in seasons of lack, something in you whispered, "I'm meant to handle more." Even when your bank account contradicted your vision, your spirit refused to shrink. That refusal was not pride, it was prophecy. It was the mark of someone chosen to carry what others could not sustain. Because divine wealth is never given to those who simply desire it. It is given to those who can be trusted to multiply, manage, and minister through it. As heaven reveals this truth, you may begin to experience a subtle but significant shift in your mindset. You no longer see money as something scarce, fragile, or temporary. You begin to see it as a tool, a weapon, a resource that supports assignments rather than inflates ego. Your thinking elevates, your perspective widens. You start to understand why God took you through long seasons of stretching, because the assignment attached to your increase requires emotional maturity, spiritual sensitivity, and mental discipline. Chosen one, divine wealth transfer is never random. It is prophetic, intentional, and deeply rooted in the justice of God. Throughout history, whenever God began elevating individuals, families, or nations, he transferred resources to align with their calling. Joseph in Egypt, Solomon in Jerusalem, Esther in Persia. These people were not chasing riches. Riches were assigned to their purpose, and the same pattern is unfolding in your life. What you are stepping into is not coincidence. It is continuity, a continuation of a divine strategy God has been weaving through generations. One of the clearest signs that you are approaching a wealth transfer is the shift in your relationship with money. You no longer crave it for what it can do for you. You crave it for what you can do with it. You feel drawn to build, to create, to provide, to uplift. You begin to carry a burden for solving problems that extend beyond your personal life. You start thinking in terms of impact, influence, and legacy. This is the heart of a kingdom steward, someone whose intentions align with heaven's agenda. As this revelation deepens, you may find yourself becoming more uncomfortable with waste, irresponsibility, or mismanagement, not only in your own life, but in the environments around you. This discomfort is not judgment, it is preparation. Heaven is teaching you to treat resources with reverence. Because the level of wealth you are being prepared for requires discipline, wisdom, and spiritual alignment. Money in the hands of the unprepared destroys. Money in the hands of the chosen transforms. Another sign that wealth transfer is near is the sudden rise of unusual opportunities, not just to earn, but to gain. Unexpected connections, new streams of income, closed doors, reopening old debts, forgiven unexpected approvals, supernatural favor in financial decisions. These aren't mere blessings, they are prophetic markers. Heaven is repositioning resources on your behalf. The shift begins quietly, then unfolds visibly. You will start to notice that where there was once resistance, there is now flow. Where there was once shortage, there is now access. Where there was once struggle, there is now strategy. Chosen one wealth transfer is also preceded by a cleansing, a spiritual separation from anything or anyone that would contaminate what God is placing in your hands. This may mean the removal of people who drain your energy, environments that limit your growth, or habits that sabotage your progress. The pruning may feel painful, but it is necessary. Heaven protects what it provides. If God is distancing you from something, it is because that thing cannot coexist with the level of abundance coming to your life. You might notice an increased desire for knowledge, financial literacy, investment insight, business, understanding, stewardship principles. This hunger is not random. It is the Holy Spirit preparing you to manage what you will soon possess. Wealth transfer is not about miraculous money drops. It is about divine empowerment. God equips you before He elevates you. The more your mind expands, the more capacity you carry, and heaven releases increase according to capacity, not desire. Another profound truth about wealth transfer is that it is not solely about you. It is about everyone connected to your calling, your family, your lineage, your community, your future partnerships, your legacy. God is positioning you as a distribution center, someone who resources movements, funds, visions, supports transformation, and builds structures that outlive them. This is why your warfare was intense. This is why your training was long. You were not being prepared for small influence. You were being prepared for generational impact. Chosen one, as the revelation strengthens, you begin to sense heaven's urgency. This isn't the season for reckless decisions or emotional spending. This is the season for strategic preparation. Your discernment is sharper. Your boundaries are stronger. Your discipline is deeper. Your awareness is heightened. You can feel something shifting in the spiritual realm, a transfer, a release, a realignment of wealth into hands that will honor God with it. Scripture echoes this pattern of transfer. The wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous, not those who are perfect, but those who are aligned. You are not stepping into this because you've never made mistakes. You're stepping into this because you've matured through them. You've been faithful in little, and heaven is now preparing you for much. Divine wealth transfer is not coming to overwhelm you. It is coming to empower you. It is coming to validate your preparation, activate your calling, and resource your assignment. You will not just experience increase, you will embody increase. You will not just see abundance, you will steward abundance. The shift you feel is the sound of heaven placing keys into your hands. Chosen one. As the revelation of divine wealth transfer settles into your spirit, another truth begins to surface with even greater weight. The realization that what God is preparing to release into your life is not meant to end with you. It is meant to flow through you. What you are stepping into is not ordinary prosperity. It is generational purpose. It is legacy. It is the kind of destiny that rewrites bloodlines, breaks ancient patterns, and ushers in a new inheritance for those who will come after you. You are not just being blessed, you are being positioned as a generational gatekeeper. If you look honestly at your family line, you will begin to see that you've always been different, not better different. You've carried responsibility at a young age. You matured faster than those around you. You felt the weight of expectations that no one else seemed to recognize. You sensed burdens that didn't originate with you, but somehow landed on your shoulders anyway. These were not random pressures, they were spiritual indicators that heaven marked you as the breaker in your bloodline, the one who ends cycles, the one who establishes new patterns, the one who carries the mantle of change. For many chosen ones, generational patterns of lack, limitation, loss, and instability have persisted for decades, sometimes centuries. Poverty wasn't just financial, it was mental, emotional, spiritual. Fear disguised as caution, settling disguised as humility, cycles disguised as tradition. And yet even as you grew up within these structures, something in you resisted them. You felt a quiet rebellion against smallness, a discomfort with limitation, a dissatisfaction with repeating what you witnessed. That rebellion was not disrespect, it was revelation. Your spirit recognized that these cycles were not your inheritance, they were your assignment to break. Chosen one, when heaven chooses someone for generational elevation, That person often endures deeper warfare, longer waiting seasons, and greater internal battles than those around them. Not because they are cursed, but because they are called to confront what others accepted. You have faced resistance not only from your own challenges, but from the accumulated weight of everything your ancestors could not overcome, and yet you remained standing. This is not because you are strong on your own, it is because heaven strengthened you for the assignment of rebuilding what was broken. Legacy in heaven's vocabulary isn't about riches alone. It is about restoration, restoration of identity, restoration of faith, restoration of opportunities, restoration of dignity, restoration of divine order. You are being entrusted with the kind of wealth that doesn't just change bank accounts, it changes entire storylines. What took previous generations a lifetime to gather will come to you in a fraction of the time. Not because you are superior, but because your obedience, refinement, and alignment positioned you to receive what they prayed for but could not carry. One of the first signs that you are transitioning into generational purpose is that your decisions begin to carry more weight. You no longer think only in terms of what do I want right now, but instead, what foundation am I laying? What will outlive me? What cycle ends with me? Your vocabulary shifts from temporary to timeless. Your goals stretch beyond personal success and expand into generational influence. You begin caring about things like structures, stewardship, legacy, and longevity. This is not random maturity. It is divine inheritance, waking up. You will also notice that heaven begins highlighting which generational patterns must be dismantled. For some, it is financial instability. For others, it is emotional repression or spiritual amnesia. For many, it is fear, the kind of fear that kept generations from stepping into boldness, creativity, opportunity, or divine calling. And so God begins to strip these patterns from you through experiences that force growth, healing, clarity, and strength. It is not easy, but it is necessary. Legacy cannot be built on unhealed foundations. Chosen one, your future children, whether biological, spiritual, or communal, will walk on floors you had to learn how to build. They will start life with advantages you never had. They will breathe easier because you broke what suffocated previous generations. They will grow in environments where abundance is normal, wisdom is taught, confidence is nurtured, and purpose is celebrated. This is the sacred responsibility of legacy, to make the next level their starting point. But generational purpose does not only look forward, it also redeems the past. There are ancestors in your lineage who dreamed dreams they never had the freedom to pursue, who carried visions they lacked resources to fulfill, who prayed prayers that seemed unanswered in their lifetime. What you are stepping into is not separate from them, it is connected to them. You are the manifestation of what they hoped for. You are the fulfillment of what they whispered. You are the continuation of what they began. Their battles were the roots. Your breakthrough is the bloom. And in this season, you will begin to feel a sacred urgency to honor your lineage by transforming it. To use your resources not only for personal gain, but for generational healing. To build structures that uplift your family, your community, your people. To create pathways that others can walk through with less resistance than you faced. Heaven is giving you wealth, not so you can escape your origin, but so you can elevate it. Another sign that generational purpose is awakening in you is the weight of responsibility that settles on your spirit. Not a burden, a mantle. A knowing that you are being prepared to handle more because more people will be impacted by your decisions. You begin recognizing that your victories will break curses, your discipline will restore order, your obedience will open doors, and your faithfulness will create generational momentum. Your wealth will not simply be measured in money, but in the transformation it enables. Businesses built, homes secured, minds renewed, families restored, futures rewritten, communities strengthened, opportunities created. This is the kind of legacy heaven entrusts to those who have been refined by the fire, shaped by purpose, and anchored in identity. Chosen one, you are the first in your lineage to step into this level of elevation, but you will not be the last. You are the pioneer, the pattern breaker, the blueprint. What begins with you will multiply through generations. You are not receiving wealth, you are receiving responsibility. You are not being elevated for applause, you are being elevated for assignment. And heaven has determined that your lineage will never be the same. Chosen one, as every layer of this journey begins converging, identity, waiting, inner confirmation, divine timing, purpose, mantle signs, alignment, opportunity, and generational assignment, heaven brings you into the most sacred phase of all prophetic sealing and activation. This is where everything you have endured, everything you have carried, everything you have surrendered, and everything you have become is gathered into one moment of divine acknowledgement, a moment where heaven says, "It is time." You may feel a heaviness in your spirit, but not the heaviness of burden. It is the weight of glory settling on you. A spiritual recognition that you are stepping into territory your feet have never touched, but your spirit has long known. There is a seriousness in your soul, a reverence rising within you, because something inside you understands that what comes next is not ordinary. It is holy. It is the fulfillment of a process heaven began shaping in you long before you ever realized you were being prepared. Prophetic sealing is when heaven finalizes what has been spoken over your life. It is when everything that once looked fragmented begins revealing itself as strategic. It is when the questions that haunted you lose their power and the clarity that eluded you begins to settle. You may find yourself reflecting not with regret, but with revelation. You start seeing how every valley strengthened you, how every delay refined you, how every heartbreak purified you, how every disappointment rerouted you, and how every battle trained you. You begin to understand that nothing was wasted. You were being prepared with precision. Chosen one. In this season you may feel moments of deep stillness that feels like the pause before a divine announcement. Heaven often goes quiet right before it moves loudly. This silence is not empty, it is sacred. It is God breathing over your path, clearing the unseen, aligning the spiritual atmosphere, so that when the activation hits, nothing can hinder what has been appointed. Do not mistake this stillness for stagnation. This is the final calibration. As activation approaches, you may feel your spirit stretching as though you are being pulled towards something greater, something higher, something you cannot fully explain with words. This stretching is not meant to intimidate you, it is meant to expand you. Heaven enlarges your capacity before it enlarges your territory. You may feel unfamiliar emotions, sudden boldness, unexpected peace, or an unusual readiness that surprises even you. These are signs that your spirit has already crossed into a new dimension and your natural life is preparing to catch up. This is also the season where distractions lose their appeal. You no longer have the energy for meaningless conversations, pointless conflicts, or environments that shrink your vision. Your tolerance for chaos diminishes. Your hunger for purpose increases. Your spirit becomes laser-focused on what matters. You have no desire to revisit cycles that once trapped you. You've outgrown them. Activation requires focus, and heaven is sharpening you with sacred intentionality. And yet with activation comes a deeper awareness of God's presence, not only around you but within you. You begin to sense his guidance in ways you never have before, subtle impressions, quiet nudges, sudden clarity, unexplainable knowing. You start to see signs not as coincidences, but as confirmations. You speak and feel heaven echoing. You think and feel heaven responding. This alignment between your spirit and God's voice is one of the clearest marks of prophetic sealing. You are not stepping blindly, you are stepping guided. Chosen One activation also requires the release of everything that no longer aligns with your calling. Old fears, old narratives, old insecurities, old identities. You cannot carry yesterday's wounds into tomorrow's elevation. Heaven will begin prompting you to let go gently at first, then firmly if necessary. Not because God wants to take anything from you, but because He wants to free you from anything that could interfere with your new assignment. What's ahead demands emotional, spiritual, and mental space. Legacy-level assignments require healed vessels. And though you are not expected to be perfect, you are being positioned to be whole enough to carry what's coming with integrity and strength. That's why you felt the inner healing accelerating. That's why long-standing wounds are finally being addressed. That's why patterns that once repeated are now breaking. Heaven is sealing what once scattered you and solidifying what now strengthens you. In this sacred phase, people who are meant to walk with you will become clearer, and those who aren't will fade quietly. Don't resist this. Activation gathers destiny connections and releases draining attachments. Those who remain are aligned with your future. Those who exit were attached to your past. Heaven makes this distinction for your protection. And now, as activation draws near, you will begin sensing anticipation rising within you, not anxiety, but expectancy, a holy readiness, a spiritual electricity. You may not know how things will unfold, but you can feel that they will. That assurance is not self-confidence, it is divine confidence. Heaven has settled something inside you that circumstances cannot shake. Prophetic sealing marks the end of preparation and the beginning of manifestation. It is the moment you stop questioning whether you're chosen and begin walking as someone who knows they are. It is when purpose becomes movement, when calling becomes action, when potential becomes assignment, and when the spiritual becomes tangible. Chosen One. The activation over your life is not simply about stepping into a new season, it is about stepping into the reason you were born. Every gift, every battle, every vision, every scar, every lesson has led you to this moment. You are not being elevated by accident, you are being elevated by design. Heaven is opening what no man can close. Heaven is establishing what no enemy can reverse. Heaven is sealing what no doubt can corrupt, and heaven is activating what no fear can delay. Chosen One, as this word comes to a close, know this: you are standing in your kairos moment. The supernatural transfer has already begun, and heaven is aligning every step you take. May your hands stay clean, your spirit stay sharp, and your faith stay anchored as God entrusts you with abundance, meant for impact, not ego. Walk forward with holy confidence, for what's coming is ordained, irreversible, and carrying your name. If this spoke to your spirit, share it, comment below, and stay connected. You are not walking toward wealth, you are walking toward destiny. God bless you, Anointed One.